Welcome to Abilene Christian University. I'm Tamara Long, the Vice President for Enrollment here at ACU. We are so glad to have you with us virtually today for our Pre-Health and Sciences Academic Showcase. So first, we're going to take you into a better look at our pre-health and our nursing programs. And then from there, after those videos show, we're going to come back live here for a question and answer with the Dean from our College of Nursing, as well as the Director of our Body and Soul program. So from right here, we're going to take you to take a look at those videos, do a live Q&A, and then we're going to show you a little bit more of our sciences in the fields of chemistry, biochemistry, and biology. And then you're going to also get to do a live Q&A with those department chairs as well. We are so excited to have you with us today. Have your questions coming in. Love seeing you all in the chat bar and look forward to getting to know you better. Enjoy the look at our pre-health and nursing programs.
Welcome to the Abilene Christian University School of Nursing. I'm Dr. Marcia Strawn, the Dean of the School of Nursing here at ACU, and I am excited that you are considering ACU for your nursing education. Nursing and ACU are a great fit, as ACU seeks to educate students for Christian service and leadership throughout the world. That is exactly what nurses do. They lead and they serve. And we are excited that you think that ACU will be a match for you and your nursing education. At the ACU School of Nursing, you will have the opportunity to participate in activities like study abroad, internships, immersive clinical experiences, undergraduate research, service learning, and medical mission trips. Coursework includes classroom, lab, and clinical experiences. And the Zona Luz building here on the ACU campus is where a lot of the action happens. Alongside the theoretical knowledge gained in the classroom, you will learn clinical skills and clinical judgment through skills and simulation experiences here in ACU's Simulation Center. Skills like learning to start IVs, giving injections, or changing a dressing are some of the hands-on experiences that will help you start to identify with the nursing profession. You will also learn through evidence-based simulation experiences in our high-fidelity simulation spaces. Simulation is a tool used in nursing education that puts students in the experience so they can learn in a safe environment where no harm will be done. This can help you get ready to work with patients, but it can also extend clinical learning by giving you experience with situations that you may not encounter every day with live patients. Congratulations on considering nursing. Nurses are needed now more than ever, and you are to be commended for your interest in nursing and for your commitment to serving others. I can't wait to meet you in person here at Abilene Christian University.
I'm Terry Aldridge, and I'm the Director of the Body and Soul program at ACU. This program equips our students that are interested in medical, dental, physician assistant, pharmacy, physical therapy, occupational therapy, and optometry. These pre-health paths help our students to be able to see what it is like in the real world by the way we equip them with shadowing, observational surgery, and medical mission trips. I love how the students grow during the 4 years that they are at ACU, and I have got to know them while they're in high school, so when they get to ACU, the next 4 years, we build on that relationship. Let's listen to what a few students have to say about the Body and Soul program.
My name is Kendall Wermine. I'm a senior biochemistry major.
Matthew Ramirez. I am currently a junior here at ACU, and my major is kinesiology.
My name is Sophia Kraft. I am a senior biology major, and I'm pre-PA. I'm Henry Touchton. I'm a biochemistry major.
My name is Dave Fuller. I'm a head neck radiation oncologist, and I'm an associate professor in the Department of Radiation Oncology at MD Anderson Cancer Center. I think the primary consideration that I would look for is this preparing you to be the kind of person you want to be? I am in medicine because people who I was inspired by and looked to served as a model for me. I looked at folks and said, I want to be like that. I want to make a difference the way that person does in the world. And that was a template that I did not get, outside of ACU. That happened here. Those experiences were formed here.
Actually, the Body and Soul program is a big reason why I decided to come here. Our program here with Body and Soul is unparalleled. There's nothing like it at any of their institutions.
ACU seemed like a great choice to me. I went to a few preview days. I really liked the student to faculty ratio, and it was like a smaller knit environment was something I was really looking forward to.
Being a doctor seemed like something you saw in movies, and just to know people who said you can do it really made that conceivable and possible. So switched over and have never looked back. When you think about where you're going to go to college, holistically, it's not just about medical school. Medical school is one next step. You really are looking at the arc of a life that's going to be built on relationships you build with professors, but also with other students and also with the people you're going to meet. And so I would really look to that as your arbiter of quality, rather than, just looking at medical school as the endpoint.
Just the different mentorships that Body and Soul has to offer is really great.
It really gives you a perspective of what you're going to look for when you're actually doing your job as a physician.
I love that Body and Soul is not just some class listing or a series of kind of checkbox activities, but it's really something where there's an investment in you as a person developing into the kind of, I would argue, physician, but also provider of care that is bigger than just the curriculum. And that's really unique.
The biggest thing is shadowing. Body and Soul made that super easy for me. Terry literally just gave me a list of several different dental professionals in Abilene that were willing to let students shadow. All I had to do is email one of them.
Through Body and Soul, I've been able to shadow different physician assistants in different specialties, and I think just becoming more well-rounded and knowing different environments that physician assistants can work in has kind of solidified my decision to become a physician assistant.
I shadowed an orthopedic surgeon. I was going into shadowing thinking that I wanted to be a doctor, and then came out knowing that I wanted to be a doctor.
I shadowed the main three that I really, really enjoyed. And I got to talk about those experiences, which a lot of people don't have. And it gives me an edge over other people in the interview process, because by having this experience, I'm able to see what it's like to be a physician, which is something medical schools want.
We also go through mock interviews, and so that's a great opportunity to have someone just look over your personal statement before you apply, and then just kind of feel what interviewers may ask you during this process while you're applying.
Basically, we do a medical school interview, and some of the questions that they actually asked us in there were in my actual interviews.
And then they give you questions, because a lot of interviews, they'll throw out tough questions that are really off the wall, and then they help you kind of think a little bit under pressure. That was really helpful.
Body and Soul cares enough about you to say, we're going to make sure you maintain your academic performance, but we're also going to supplement that with these experiences that are designed at one level to make sure that you know what you're getting into.
Through the Body and Soul and shadowing, I found the love of helping people, and through that physician setting, that physician-patient relationship, I found that that's what I really wanted to do.
The biggest thing the Body and Soul program has given me is having an idea of what to expect when I do become a physician. Just take every opportunity that you see. Take every opportunity you can to shadow, to get to know the physicians, to be in the OR if that's what you like to do, because that's what I like to do. And I would just say, if you want to do something, don't be afraid to ask.
With ACU and the Body and Soul program, the amount of support you get is, I find it hard-pressed to be paralleled by any other school.
Body and Soul is just a great opportunity to kind of just get your feet wet and see what the profession has to offer, and whether you decide to, try something else in medicine and observe in a different area, or whether that just solidifies your decision. I think coming into Body and Soul open-minded, willing to learn, willing to hear different stories and experiences That's probably the best thing that any student could do wanting to enter this profession.
During medical training, I was very much the recipient of lots of focused care and concern. And I had periods in medical school where I really struggled academically. There were periods of time where I was very, very close to not being a doctor and not being able to find my way out of it. But I had people who cared very deeply, who were ACU folks, who got me, navigated me through that. And so what I love about Body and Soul is it's not just other people's body and soul they're concerned about, it's you as a student. Most people don't care about your soul. And to have a place that says that's as an important part developmentally as your educational component, I think is very unique.
Yep, the video just ended.
Welcome back. It was so great to show you our pre-health program and our nursing program. And I am here in the studio with Dr. Marcia Strawn, who's the Dean of our School of Nursing, and then Terry Aldridge, who's the Director of our Body and Soul program. So we're excited to answer your questions live in the Q&A. I see they're coming in. Text those questions in, put them in the chat bar. We want to answer them as best we can with you today. And just a reminder, we're going to do another Q&A during our time together this afternoon, also with the chairs of our biology and chemistry department. So it's great to be with both these wonderful women today, talking more about the programs we have here at ACU. A couple of questions that came in were about applying to ACU, but also to these different programs. So I want everyone to be aware of the application for admission to ACU. If you're a current senior, you can still apply. We are still considering applications. If you're a junior, or really the new seniors in the room, your application is going to open up July the 1st to the university, and you will be able to apply for admission to ACU then. July the 1st. So a few things to know about that application. We are looking to get to know you students. We want you to send us your high school transcript. If you have test scores, send those in. We are test optional for this next school year for 2021. But many of you that are here with us today are definitely interested in a career in the sciences. And those test scores really can be an important factor for you as you're preparing to be a part of any of these programs. So just keep that in mind. Know that we're here to help you through that. But one question that came in was very specific about the nursing school. And do you have to apply to be a part of the nursing school, or are you admitted to the nursing school as a high school senior looking at school? So I'm going to let Dr. Strawn answer that a little bit, and then we'll dive into some more questions.
Thanks. That's a great question. Any freshman coming to ACU can declare nursing as a major. So when a student comes to ACU and they want to do nursing, they are started in the pre-nursing courses, or like a pre-nursing track. And then as they complete those courses, usually about a semester before the student plans to enter the nursing program, there is another application process. A certain number of the prerequisite sciences have to be complete so that the timing is right for all of those courses, those prerequisite courses, to be done before entering upper level nursing courses.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Strawn. A lot of questions are coming in just about all the types of things that students get to do out of the classroom to prepare them for both becoming a nurse or going into the pre-medical field. So I'm going to start with you, Terry, to talk a little bit about Body and Soul and the different programs that students get to be a part of as they are preparing for that long road to medical school. So if you'll share a little bit about those experiences.
Okay, sure. Well, the pre-health road is a long road, but for the ones that want to go down the road, it is amazing. Starting sophomore year, as a student at ACU, you will get to shadow and observe surgery at a local hospital. You will get a lot of experiences to see if this really grabs you or not. I think ACU does a great job equipping our students to see what the pre-health road is like.
Awesome. Can you talk a little bit about shadowing and what that looks like for students when they get to go into the hospitals? And are we going to be able to shadow this next school year, are we thinking, for our students?
Okay. Well, that's a big question. We get emails a lot from the hospitals here about what the future is going to look like. Starting sophomore year, the students who have the GPA of a 3.5 or higher in the pre-health road, they are able to shadow for 2 months each semester of their sophomore year. I have around 80 health professionals that have joined me with letting students shadow. The student gets to pick out who they want to shadow. I do not tell them who they shadow, and most students go in about once a week for 2 to 3 hours to shadow during that 2 months.
No, that's awesome. Thank you. It's great. It's a great experience the way the hospitals here in Abilene partner with us. And right now, they are telling us that they are going to welcome our students into shadowing. There's going to be some new protocol going into the fall, but we're very grateful for those partnerships. Similarly, Dr. Strong, can you talk a little bit about the clinical experience, the out-of-classroom experience, and maybe even the sim labs that your students get to be a part of, that they got to see on the video?
Sure, right. So, of course, the classroom situations give a background for students to then go out and apply that content hands-on. We do a lot in the labs that you saw in the video, because we can create experiences that a lot of students might not be able to get every day or frequently in the hospital. Or 3 students might get to experience a certain situation, and we want everyone to be able to experience that and to know how to make the decisions and act. So about half of your clinical hours are spent doing simulation and skills lab, and the other half is spent in direct care in a variety of clinical opportunities. We partner with area hospitals. There's also an end of program immersive preceptorship. It's like an internship, but it's an immersive experience in which our graduating seniors go and spend time working multiple shifts in a row in an immersive environment, getting to see what that role is like and kind of learning those final things before graduating and getting to start their career.
No, that's awesome. That's fantastic. Terry, can you talk a little bit about medical missions and maybe give some real examples of some of the medical missions? Some people are asking, where do students go on medical missions? What does that actually mean? Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Sure. We go to Guatemala every year during spring break, and we have done that probably for, 10, 15 years. It is an amazing trip. I usually go on the one that is the surgical rotation since I'm a nurse, and I will help with pre-op or post-op. Our kids get to scrub in on every surgery. The doctors are flown in from the United States, and they perform about 100 surgeries while we were there. I love watching our students serve the Guatemalans. It just touches my heart each time I go. Even if there's a language barrier there, there is just something that is so amazing of how you can relate to each other and hardly even say a word. I take a lot of students that are fluent in Spanish, and they will even be the translator between the patient and the doctor.
Wow, that's fantastic. Dr. Strong, I know you as well have done some really unique, created unique opportunities for students in missions as well. Do you mind sharing a little bit about that as well?
Sure. We have partnered some with Body and Soul on some trips and have gone to Guatemala. We've also gone to Honduras and Haiti, and more. We've had some domestic trips. Most recently, we've started an experience out in Colorado with the inner city ministry in Denver called Dry Bones. And so that was a new one this year, but we have faculty who are deeply committed to leading these trips and getting students connecting with other cultures and being able to serve others in the profession that they want to enter. And so some of our trips are surgical focused, some are more population health, but we have a variety of experiences. And one thing that's interesting to note is that while some of the trips and some of the roles do require that students know a little bit, we do have a lot of mission opportunities that are available for those pre-nursing students who have not yet had any nursing courses. Also, our Worldwide Witness opportunities through the Halbert Center. Sometimes students can do other placements over the summer through Worldwide Witness where they're actually working in that role as a student nurse. We've had several students go to Thailand, Zambia, several different opportunities with that over the years.
Oh, that's awesome. Terry, there's lots of questions coming in specific about what to major in if you're wanting to go on to medical school. So do you mind talking about the majors, but also if you could even give us some insight into our acceptance rate into medical and dental school?
Sure. Well, what's amazing about going down the pre-health road, you can be any major. You can be a psychology major, go to medical school. You can be a Bible major, go to dental school. You can really be any major going down any of the pre-health roads. So all of the students, whatever major they are, can be part of the Body and Soul program. Our acceptance rate for over the last 10 years has been right around 80 to 85%. The national average is around 45 to 50%. So ACU has done an incredible job putting the pieces to the puzzle together for our students to be as equipped as they can be to be able to go beyond ACU to health professional school.
Oh, that's awesome. Is there a certain major that's more common, do you think, Terry, for students to declare? Is it within the sciences? Is that the more common, you feel like?
Yes, especially for majority of the pre-health programs, biochemistry, chemistry, or chemistry are the ones that most students major in. And it's because you take so many science classes along the 4 years at ACU. So most students just want to stay in the sciences because they have to take so many of those courses to be able to make it to health professional school.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Terry. Dr. Strawn, do you mind talking a little bit about the CNA certification requirement and when students should be planning to do that? We've got some students that have that opportunity in high school. Should they do that? Should they wait? And also, what does it look like to apply to nursing school? What to expect along the way?
Okay, great. So yes, a CNA, a Certified Nurse Aide certification is required when a student starts in the nursing program. So it doesn't have to be in place when you apply, which I'll talk about that in just a moment, but when students start. And what a certified nurse aide does is they are doing the very basic nursing skills. So it is important for students to have an understanding of that before they enter the upper level courses. So that's why we require that. If you have the opportunity to get a certified nurse aide through a program in high school, I encourage you to do that and to plan to work part-time somewhere and get some experience in that. That's going to increase your success later in being comfortable in a healthcare environment, communicating with patients in all kinds of different kinds of situations. So I do encourage students who have that opportunity in high school to do that. There are other kinds of certifications that you might have the opportunity to get in high school, but we really, it's the certified nurse aide that's the nursing skills that is important for our application. As far as the application goes, typically students will apply spring of their sophomore year for a planned junior fall start. We do admit every semester, so depending on a student's individual situation, they may have a different timing. But some different components of that application include the fact that there is an admission exam where there's not, it's not competitive. We don't look at the scores and rank you by scores, but there's just a benchmark. That admission exam is a national exam, and there are a couple of chances to take that, and it really focuses on math and language and comprehension skills. So it's a broad-based exam. Students also have to have completed a certain number of what we call the supplement to the major courses, which are the developmental psych, chemistries, anatomy and physiology, microbiology. They have to have completed 5 of those so that we can really make sure that we are fairly evaluating applicants and make sure that we're comparing apples to apples, so to speak, so that we want to make sure that everyone who does submit an application has completed some of the sciences so that we can evaluate that. And students have to have a minimum 3.0 in the nursing prerequisite courses that they have completed. So that minimum 3.0 is that other sort of, you can't even submit your application until you're meeting some of these minimum benchmarks.
Oh, that's awesome. No, that's fantastic. In talking about nursing, because several questions have come in about studying abroad, can you talk a little bit about how students are able to study abroad as a nursing major?
Sure. So our advisor, we have a dedicated nursing advisor who does a fantastic job helping students forecast and plan that out. If a student wishes to study abroad in a long semester, it's important to know that at the very beginning or pretty early on so that the advisor can kind of help you save certain courses for the semester you're planning to study abroad. That's a really important thing, to be able to plan to do that to allow you to stay on track. Or sometimes students who bring in a lot of dual credit might have a little more flexibility in the schedule and their plan and able to stay on track. We do offer a nursing study abroad that we've recently developed and launched last year in 2019. We took a group for 6 weeks to South America, to our Montevideo, Uruguay site, and they took a global healthcare course and did tours of different types of facilities, and we examined kind of the healthcare setting, the nurse's role, health education, and did a lot of great co-curricular travel, some service learning, et cetera. So we did launch that last year. Unfortunately, with the COVID, we were unable to do that trip this year, but we're hoping that we're going to be able to sustain that every summer or every other summer, and are always looking at other opportunities to be able to allow our students to have that international experience.
Awesome. Yeah, having cross-cultural experiences is a big part of the ACU experience for sure. And academic advising at ACU is very intentional. So same as Dr. Strong talked about for nursing, goes into the pre-med and pre-health professions as well as the majors. And so you will experience very intentional advising to help you find your pathway through ACU. Terry, a couple of questions are coming in specific about two things. One is about JAMP. As ACU, do we participate in the Joint Admission Medical Program? She's going to talk to you about that. But also, Terry, what about students wanting to consider pharmacy and OT and PT? Can you talk about how Body and Soul works with those students?
Sure. So the pre-health road is for the pre-med, pre-dental, PT, OT, pharmacy, physician assistant, and optometry. All of those are under Body and Soul. So all of those students get all the same opportunities. It doesn't matter what pre-health road you go down. A lot of our students will become a pharm tech. Once they get here, they will actually work at one of the pharmacists here. So we have amazing opportunities that they can build on what they might already have before they get here. JAMP is a great program, and ACU is part of that program. And we have had many students throughout the year to be accepted through the JAMP program. It has to start pretty early. It starts that freshman year that a student has to come to Dr. Powell to talk about it, because each summer after freshman year, they are obligated to do things through the JAMP program. It's a great program, and our students do amazing in that program.
No, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Terry. We know that you're in the chat bar, and we are definitely answering your questions, but the questions have started to dwindle a little bit, so we'll keep answering those in the chat bar. But next up, I want to introduce you more to the actual science majors, that if you're going to go down this road of nursing or pre-health or pre-med, you're going to be a part of these courses regardless of your major. Many of you will choose a major very much in the home of the biology and the chemistry departments. So next up, we're going to show you a little bit more from them, and then we're going to come back right here live, and you're going to get to take some time to ask questions to both department chairs, Dr. Lee from biology and then Dr. Sutherland from chemistry. So we'll be right back here. Thanks for sticking with us.
Hello, I'm Dr. Tom Lee. I'm chairman of the Department of Biology here at ACU. We're glad you're here. We have many programs for undergraduates. They include health professions, cellular and molecular biology, general biology, organismal biology, biology for wildlife concentration, pre-veterinary medicine, and teacher education and a teacher cooperative science degree.
Hi, I'm Dr. Rebecca Hunter. I'm an associate professor here at ACU in the biology department, and honestly, the biology department is a pretty great place, made up of some pretty amazing people. And one of the things that has impressed me the most is the department's commitment to teaching and learning. We as professors here at ACU in the biology department like to teach all of our own classes and labs, so very often at bigger institutions, graduate students or even upper level undergraduate students are teaching labs. That's a very common practice. But here at ACU, we want to walk alongside our students in the learning process. We want to be in our classrooms all of the time so that as students have questions, we are right there to help answer those questions. And as problems arise, we can help troubleshoot. but also we just really want to get to know our students. We want to form deep and lasting relationships with our students, and we know that being next to them during the learning process is a great opportunity for this.
We conduct quite a bit of undergraduate research. This includes mostly genetics, but we also do field biology both on land and in the ocean. We're a part of the Al Sabal Institute of Environmental Studies, where students get to go out in the field. Very few places, if any, in this country have an undergraduate research laboratory like this. And that means that you get to do hands-on all the projects. You get to go to state, regional, and national meetings and present your research in front of other scientists. The scientists here, the professors here, will train you, and they are some of the best in the world in their fields. They've discovered many things, from interesting cave bacteria that have interesting properties, antibiotic properties, to new species of mammals and new species of plants. It's very much like an apprentice program where you get to use all the fancy machines we have. We have some of the best PCR machines. We have machines that can put a plasmid into a cell through a cell membrane. We have machines that can tell you the concentration of DNA. There is a lot of opportunity here at ACU for undergraduates to conduct research.
So all biology majors will start their time here at ACU in introductory biology. In introductory biology lecture, students will learn a wide range of topics, and that would be pretty similar to what would happen at other institutions. But at ACU, we take it to the next level. We understand that our students are very concerned with spiritual aspects and thinking about how faith and biology are intertwined. So we always have in the back of our mind that faith component, and we try to weave that faith component into lecture material as much as possible. So we're not going to just talk about evolution. We're going to talk about how faith and science issues, complicated science issues, in some cases, can be interwoven together and can be compatible. So we're really thinking very deeply about the intersection between science and faith. Other classes that biology majors have the opportunity to take include classes that are designed to help train our students for the health professional schools that they may go to after they graduate from ACU. And a great example of that is the anatomy class. We have an anatomy class that we have always heard does an amazing job of preparing students for med school and anatomy class. And many students come back from med school to visit and they tell us, the anatomy class that I took at ACU was very comparable to the anatomy class that I took during my first year in med school, and it was made so much easier, not easy, but easier, by having gone through the anatomy class at ACU. They dissect a fetal pig, an eye, a brain, a heart, kidney, pretty much any organ that you can think of, they're going to be dissecting as they get great hands-on experience interacting with the various organs and organ systems of the body. But we have some other kinds of classes as well that are more designed to equip students for experiences if they go on to graduate school, or maybe if they go on to be a teacher in the K through 12 teaching realm. So we have lots of really fun field classes. I teach marine biology, and in my marine biology class, we spend a week in the summer in the Florida Keys interacting hands-on with the marine environment. We also have a mammalogy class here and a field biology class and plant systematics classes that all take students out of the classroom and into the field, where they are getting to interact hands-on with God's creation and see the plants, see the animals in their natural environment. And nothing in the classroom can replace that hands-on experience. And you just can't really come to appreciate God's amazing creation as much as you can when you get to touch it or at least see it with your own eyes.
Hi, I'm Dr. Autumn Sutherland, Chair of the Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry. I'm so happy to be able to talk with you a bit about our department. With the impacts of the worldwide pandemic, the importance of scientists and health professionals has never been more evident. A degree in chemistry or biochemistry can be a springboard to help solve the problems you are interested in. Our aim as the faculty in the department is to help you achieve your goals, whether it is to be a research scientist, a doctor, pharmacist, dentist, PA, or veterinarian, work in public health, or any other number of fields. We offer degrees in chemistry, biochemistry, and physical science teaching. First, I would like to talk about the American Chemical Society certified degrees in chemistry and in biochemistry. The American Chemical Society is our national chemistry organization. We are very proud of our ACS approval, which we have had for close to 50 years. The Chemistry ACS and Biochemistry ACS degrees are particularly good for students who wish to go to graduate school or wish to work in labs after graduation. The Biochemistry Biomedical Sciences track is our most popular degree. It has the built-in flexibility to get the prerequisites for medical school, dental school, pharmacy school, PA school, or any of the other health professions. It is also an excellent degree for those considering graduate school. We also have a biochemistry track for those interested in veterinary medicine. Middle school and high school teachers are very important for developing future scientists and health professionals. If you are interested in teaching, our physical science teaching degree has tracks in chemistry, physical science, and composite science teaching. We are so proud of the work our graduates do. Dr. Bonnie Sullivan is an assistant professor of pediatrics at the University of Missouri, Kansas City. As a pediatric geneticist, she works with children and families with unusual genetic disorders. After his degree in biochemistry at ACU, Dr. Evan Jones pursued a PhD in molecular and human genetics, specializing in bioinformatics. He now works at NASA. You do not have to wait until you have graduated, though, to start helping solve interesting scientific and health-related problems. Our faculty have active research programs that our students work in. You might do research with Dr. Greg Powell and Dr. Cynthia Powell. In the Powell Lab, students are working to make new compounds that can help with drug delivery or work as storage molecules. After making these new compounds, the researchers in the Powell Lab use X-ray diffractometry to find structures of molecules. You might work with Dr. Kathleen Lee in drug discovery. She's looking at treatments for osteoporosis. Or with Dr. Brad Ricks, who works on making polymers that could be used as pest-resistant coatings. Or with me, as I study enzymes that may be good targets for antibiotics. If your interest is in energy, you might work with Dr. Kim Pamplin or Dr. Aaron Robison as part of the NEXT project that is working on developing better nuclear energy and generating medical isotopes. But along with the time of scientific growth, you will have the opportunity to spend a lot of time with a faculty mentor with whom you will build a strong relationship. During time in the research lab, we not only have the time to discuss science, but also life and faith. These are some of my favorite times with students. As part of this department, you'll be challenged in your classes. You will be asked to do things you didn't think you would be able to do. Chemistry and biochemistry are not easy fields, but they are fun and they are worth it. I hope you will become a part of this family. I look forward to getting to know you over the next few years.
Welcome back. Great to share with you both our chemistry and biochemistry and biology departments. I'm back here in the studio with Dr. Sutherland, who's the chair of our chemistry and biochemistry department, and then Dr. Lee, who is the chair of our biology department. They're excited to answer some of your questions. We just finished up showcasing you both of those departments as well as our pre-health professions. So I'm just going to spend a moment of time answering a few more questions, really just one around the pre-health that has come in, and that is, what major is better? Hopefully nobody will fight in here. Which major is better if you are pursuing that pre-health track? So I'm going to ask Dr. Sutherland to start with that answer, and then we'll ask Dr. Lee to wrap that one up.
All right, so as Terry mentioned earlier, it doesn't really matter what you major in. I'm a biochemist, so I think biochemistry is awesome. I think it's a great major. We have students who major in biochemistry and go on to all sorts of pre-health programs, medicine, pharmacy, dental, physician's assistant, and so on. But your first year, you're going to take general chemistry and general biology, basically no matter what your major is, and that's going to be true of biology as well.
Dr. Lee.
Well, I agree with that too, and I always tell the students who are visiting, when they're visiting in physical sense, that they ask that question all the time, and I say, well, what are you most interested in? What do you want to pursue? Are you interested in more of the biological aspect of medicine, or are you interested in more of the chemistry aspect of medicine? So that usually is the fair answer. And of course, like Dr. Sutherland, I say, well, biology is a great major. You should be a biology major, but that's the fair answer.
No, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. I hope that's helpful to some of you students that are just kind of wrestling with where's the best place for you. And I would say across the board, as you enter into college, a lot of this journey, and especially what makes a liberal arts university a great space, is figuring out what interests you and excites you in learning. And I know that is what our faculty care deeply about, is you finding that thing that you really want to pursue and learn more about. And you're going to find that here at ACU. So another question that's going to transition us out of that pre-health question is, a lot of you students that are here today aren't necessarily at all interested in pursuing a medicine or a medical route. You really want to understand what types of careers, what type of opportunities you would have in the sciences. So Dr. Sutherland, do you mind talking a little bit about some of your majors, what kind of career interests they might have, and what that would look like for them as students?
So students who are interested in majoring in chemistry or biochemistry or physical science teaching go into a lot of things. Of course, teaching tracks, folks tend to do some teaching. We have folks who go into pharmaceutical research. We've had students or graduates who've gone on and worked in the food industry, doing things like determining the caloric value in food that's put on packaging. I mentioned in the video one of our graduates who's working for NASA, looking at the genetics and epigenetics and biological testing and seeing the effects of being in space. We have another graduate who has a PhD and now works with a company training other scientists how to use instruments. So there's all sorts of things you can do. Pharmaceutical sales is another place people go to. So there's many options out there that students can go into.
That's fantastic. So Dr. Lee, if you can talk to us a little bit about biology and just all the different types of opportunities students have.
Sure, there's a wide range of opportunities in biology. We have students that, like chemistry, have also gone into pharmacy. We have students who do things like wildlife management. We have a student who was just recently right over here at Dyess Air Force Base, managing wildlife on that large complex. We have a student who is a graduate of marine biology programs where they go on submarines and dive down to the bottom of the Gulf of Mexico, looking at these strange alien, almost alien worlds that are cold seeps. So, and then I can't forget that we also have students going into veterinary medicines. So a wide range of opportunities in the biology program. We're very proud of those majors, and we frequently bring them in as speakers. And so you get to experience all the different types of careers here. So if you decide later you don't really want to go into medicine, maybe you came in that way, but you decide later, well, I'm interested in something else, you'll get an exposure to a wide variety of careers.
Mm-hmm. No, that's awesome. That is fantastic. One of the unique aspects to ACU, I believe, in our sciences is the intentional focus in our undergraduate teaching that we really are. We are a teaching university, and one of those aspects is research, undergraduate research. That is really important to us. I know for myself, that was a big part of my decision to attend ACU. Was a faculty member said to me as a high school student, "If you come here, you get to participate in some research." I didn't really understand what that meant, but it sounded fun, and it really was, and it was transformative. So Dr. Sutherland, do you mind talking a little bit about some of your research and the research happening in your department, and what does that mean? What does that look like for students?
Sure. So one of the things that's different about research, and so spending time in the lab, is different from teaching lab. So when you take general chemistry or organic chemistry, you're going to go into the lab and you're going to have an experiment you do, and we try to build those so that you can try to learn some new things, discover some new things, but still in general, you know what answer you're supposed to get. When you're doing research, we're trying to learn things that we don't know the answer to. So for example, I do research in proteins that are involved in the synthesis of cholesterol-like molecules in bacteria. And there are things that we don't know how it's gonna work. So we find something that's interesting and we ask a question about it, and we go in and we try to answer it. And you know what? Sometimes the experiment doesn't work. But what's nice about research is then you get to go in, that experiment didn't work. Well, so we may try it again. And if it doesn't work a second or third or fourth time, we go back and we redesign the experiment and try to find a new way to answer that question. In our department, we have lots of types of research going on. We have people who are doing chemical synthesis. Some of our organic chemists are doing that, and inorganic chemists. One of the really cool things in the video, if you were here on when it was being shown, you get to see the PAL lab with their X-ray diffractometer. And so the inorganic and organic chemists will build these new compounds, and then they make little crystals out of them that look a lot like salt. And then they shoot an X-ray beam at it. And from that, they can figure out what the structure of the molecule is. And that's really exciting. We've had several students who've been published as authors on peer-reviewed science journal articles, which in the sciences, that is the thing to do in research. That's kind of the highest pinnacle. And so we've been really proud of the work our folks have been doing. We have students who are working on as part of the next project. The chemists on that project are looking and trying to find what is being produced and looking at how the system is running. And so we have a lot of folks doing a lot of really interesting and fun things in our department.
No, that's awesome. It's exciting to hear the things they're doing. Definitely outside of my wheelhouse. Very cool. But I'm definitely blown away by the work our students do. Dr. Lee, you've done some really neat research as well within your department. So if you could talk a little bit about some of the research your faculty are doing with our students, but also your personal research that's involved really study abroad experiences for our students.
I'll be happy to. So most of the research in the biology department revolves around the field of genetics. So we have people studying the genetics of plants, mostly looking at biogeography of plants. We have people looking at cave bacteria in a remote cave in West Texas to look for antibiotic resistance of those bacteria. Again, many different fields of genetics. My personal research is on mammals. So I've been working for the last almost 20 years in Ecuador. I guess it will be 20 years this summer. My first trip was to the Galapagos Islands, where we were looking for rediscovering some extinct species. And then I started research in the Andes on the mainland of Ecuador with colleagues at the Catholic University in Quito. And they've been great people to work with too. And every single trip I've taken students, every single trip, the data have been published in a peer-reviewed journal. As Dr. Sutherland said, that's the pinnacle of what you get to do. So another thing I'd like to tell you here, both chemistry and biology, is that all our focus is on you, on the undergraduate. There are no graduate students in the hard sciences here. There are graduate students in other fields, but not in the hard sciences. So we put all our eggs in your basket. So it's very much like an apprentice program where you get to work one-on-one with a faculty member or maybe in a small group of students and get real hands-on experience. And so like I said, all my students have been able to go to Ecuador and do research in the high Andes. All of them have been published. In some cases, we've discovered new species of rodents, of possums, of bats in Ecuador. So we've had a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. It's very rewarding. So I think you'll enjoy it here.
No, that's awesome. Students, I hope that you kind of get excited about thinking what that would look like to conduct research alongside some of the most amazing men and women in the field right here at ACU. And as Dr. Lee said, a very much a distinguishing factor of ACU is that in our hard sciences, that research is not given to those graduate students. You as an undergraduate student, if you want to walk through that door of research, they invite you in and to work alongside them, which is always very exciting. Some of you have had questions about dual credit or AP credit classes. You're taking those. I want you to know we absolutely accept AP credit. You can work with your admissions counselor and your advisor to ensure what score you need on that AP exam or what dual credit classes are best. But Dr. Sutherland, do you mind talking a little bit about your thoughts around dual credit chemistry and what that means for a major and what to expect?
So you can absolutely, as Tamara said, bring in dual credit general chemistry. And that would count as your first year chemistry. I don't want to be discouraging. However, if you're going to do that, we need to talk about it. You can talk to your advisor, you can talk to me, because in studies across the state of Texas, it's been shown that students who do dual credit general chemistry do not generally do as well as they should have in organic. And what we really want is for you to succeed. So either bringing in AP, general or dual credit, let's talk before you go on, because as I said, we really want you to do well, and coming in and getting a good solid foundation that first year before you move on to second year programs is really important. And so I don't want to be discouraging, and I think almost any university should tell you the same thing. If they don't, you want to double check into that, because there have been studies that show that it can be a struggle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so when you're bringing in sciences and lab sciences especially, it's one thing if you're planning to be an accountant and want to bring in that dual credit chemistry class. The foundation there is probably okay. You're trying to be an accountant. But if you're really trying to pursue becoming a scientist, what Dr. Sutherland is getting at, and I know Dr. Lee believes as well, is there are some really foundational components to our teaching and learning in those lab sciences that are really critical. So don't be discouraged, but just talk with us about that. We want to make sure that you are prepared for those next level courses, because we want to set you up for success. That is very much a part of ACU. So in speaking with that, Dr. Lee, do you mind talking a little bit about your classroom experience, about the teaching and learning that happens? What can a student ask? What do I expect in a classroom and in a lab? What's the difference?
Okay, so classroom, it will be a lecture course. So, but our classes are small size in general. So you'll get a lot of one-on-one with the professor. They'll know your name. You won't be a number. The classes aren't so big that you can't go into that professor's office and get help. A lot of people come, what happens if I get behind? Well, there's many layers of help here at ACU, but the first one is to go and talk with your professor. Again, you can see them during their office hours or just pop in. They're happy to talk to you all the time. So Tamara asked about labs. So labs, then you get also one-on-one with your professor and their professors in the labs. That's a big difference from us, from lots of other schools, especially the state schools. You'll probably have a graduate student in a lab someplace else. Here, there's a professor in the lab. She or he may have student helpers to help you. They're upperclassmen helping to be TAs, but that professor will be there. And so you're getting that hands-on experience in the labs, getting your hands dirty and that kind of thing.
Oh, that's awesome. One student said they love biology, they want to be a biology major, so you've won somebody over, but they're really worried about the chemistry classes. And so I think this speaks, though, to how do we help support students? So tutoring, talk about tutoring and office hours, Dr. Sutherland, and how we support our students.
Yes. So one of the things that Dr. Lee mentioned was office hours. So what office hours are those are times that professors have said in their schedule, we're going to be sitting in our office, or sometimes people will say, hey, we'll be sitting in the library, but come in and ask us questions then. People who are at ACU teaching, the members of chemistry and biochemistry department, members of the biology department, we are here because we like college students and we want to help you. So during those times, so for example, if you came to my office, I have a table there. We'd sit down at the table, work through these chemistry problems together. You might have another classmate that comes in that is asking questions, so then you can kind of feed off of each other. And so we have those opportunities. So when you see that professors have office hours, don't be scared to use them. We're there for you to help you out in these classes. We also have free tutoring in the chemistry department. So we have upperclassmen that we pay to help you with classes. And so we'll have designated times that you can go in and see them, and they will also help you. So those are two really good resources. This isn't the easiest field. I would be lying if I told you otherwise. I happen to love chemistry. I thought it was great. But there are people around to help you. And if you're going to go into biology, if you're going to go into chemistry, biochemistry, you're going to be taking classes from each other's departments. So we all spend a lot of time together. Mm-hmm. And the professors are there to help you, and so are the upperclassmen. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's awesome. Yes, at ACU students, we want you to know across every discipline, we have incredible resources designed to help you be successful. That is our goal, is to help you obtain your academic goals. Our goal is success for you, whatever that might look like. And so tutoring, office hours, those are all available across all of our programs and departments. That is a goal for us as we are educating you students. Some of you have asked about what to do next, what to do to prepare to get to college and to be preparing for these sciences. So a couple of things from my perspective as an admissions person, as you're preparing to apply for colleges or preparing to be here, it's stay engaged in your sciences and in your math, and that's across the board. It's easy, especially those of you that are very bright, as many of you are, and you've had lots of options. You get to your senior year, and maybe you have that opportunity to step back from a math or to step away from a lab science. Don't do that. Lean in and take the above and beyond. You will be better equipped for college when you do that. So we really encourage you to maximize your time in high school to prepare for your journey towards college. And be reaching out to your advisors, be reaching out to your admissions counselors and asking questions, and to the faculty that are here. We're here to answer those questions. We want to get to know you better. And with that, I can't stress enough the value and importance of coming to campus. Come and visit us. Come check out the lab spaces in the lecture halls and all the wonderful faculty and staff we have here at ACU. We want to get to know you. We want to show you who ACU is in person. We know this season and this time, for many of you, it's disappointing the way your school year ended, and you haven't gotten to say those goodbyes to your peers at high school. You haven't gotten to necessarily visit the colleges you were planning to this spring. So we look forward to hosting you hopefully in the fall. We are so grateful you've been with us here in person virtually, and we can't wait to see you on campus soon. Thank you, Dr. Sutherland. Thank you, Dr. Lee, for being with us today and answering our questions. And we will see you on campus soon. Have a wonderful weekend.